Hello, welcome. All right, so guys, I will say I'm legit obsessed with this topic. I feel like I've researched, read books, and I think about how to prioritize and streamline myself and my time all the time, like all the time. And you know what? Honestly, I still don't get it right. And I still feel like I failed more than I like. However, I have also learned things along the way. And the biggest thing I learned is that no matter how much you plan, something can always go wrong. Am I right? I mean, think about it. You have that beautiful schedule you put together, and then no one in the family follows it. Or how many times have you said to yourself, okay, this time I'm gonna do XYZ? Or how many times have you said to yourself, okay, I'm gonna start this routine and I'm really, really, really gonna stick to it, right? And the biggest thing I can tell you is that you're not alone. Oh my goodness, I truly believe we are incredibly overloaded with activities, events, expectations we put on ourselves. And I know that some of the things you need to do are out of your control. I get it. However, let's dive into the method that I use to try to make sure things are as balanced as they can be. And in case you aren't familiar with me, I'm Sasha, and I have a life coaching business where I help moms who are killing it at work but feel like they're failing at home to have more time, less stuff, and systems to lead a peaceful life. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is the big picture, okay? Big picture. This is something for anyone that's truly ready to stop spinning their wheels and start being able to set limits and value their own time. And the reason I'm focusing on one big picture method as a baseline is that when you don't know the fundamentals, you really can't move on to the advanced. I mean, you guys are smart. I know you know this. Am I right? So, I promise that the little decisions, such as what to say no to, or how to kick yourself in the butt so you get out the door, come much, much easier when you have a framework. And when you know the big picture, the puzzle pieces are so easy to put together. And more than anything, I want you to have clarity on what's important to you so that you can gain control back over your time. And it'll be easy to set those boundaries. And where most people I feel fall short on this is they try to implement some kind of hack they saw online or just say, okay, now I'm going to say no to things I don't want to do without having an actual purpose. So what's the one thing you need to do to be able to set limits, you ask? Well, I'm glad you're here, so I can tell you. So join me as we walk along a road. So this is your road where each day, each week, month, and year is passing you by just like it is in real life. Okay? The difference is you look down on the road, and in the moment, it doesn't seem as though anything is sticking out. But when you look behind you, you start to see all of the time that's passed and all the things that you did or didn't do. Now that's where you start to slow down. The years, the months, the years, they start to slow down below your feet. And you start to think, wait. I did that, but I didn't do this. I thought I'd be in a different place by now. I really wanted to do that. And this is what my life really looks like on the big picture. And you start to think, this is not what I want my life to look like anymore. And guys, this is a common story, okay? But the story also has two paths now. One path is to continue as is and let time continue, and another is to stop. And when you stop, you get clarity on what your values are and start going down a little bit of a different path, a little bit of a bumpy path. And I say it's a bumpy path because any new thing you take on will not be a smooth ride. So which do you choose? If you choose the bumpy path, let's go further. This is the part where I want you to do some work. I mean, how can you get clear if you're not doing the work? Am I right or am I right? And I promise this will only take a few minutes. We can really lead you clearly on that bumpy road. Are you ready? So grab a piece of paper and a pen. And if you need to pause the video to do that, that's okay. Go get it. Got it? Good. So now that you have paper and pen, let's draw a really big circle that's the size of the paper. And remember, This is just for you, so don't try to make it perfect. Next, you're going to divide the circle into 3 parts. And you can easily do this by drawing a peace sign inside the circle. Next, we're going to label the 3 parts. First label is life at home. Second label is family. Third label is self on the outer or inner layer of the circle. Okay? So now, this is the part where you guessed it. You're going to write in each category about what you actually want from each part. So for example, let's start with the family. Okay? So under family, you may write healthy relationships, positive experiences, learn more about parenting, reconnect with my partner, and etc. It doesn't matter what you write as long as it's coming from your heart. The most important thing is that it's something that matters to you. So take a minute, pause the video if you need, and write it. But please don't overthink it. Okay? Good. So how'd it go? If you only have about 3 to 5 things in that part, great. If you have about 10, great. This is for you. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but for the part for self. Here, we're really talking about taking care of yourself. What are some things that really matter to you? What are some things you want to incorporate into your life that maybe you haven't had an opportunity to do so? So under self, you may write things such as eating right, working out, meditate, focus on mental health, taking a fun class to learn a new skill, whatever it may be. This is for you. So take a moment, pause the video, and write it out. And I truly hope this is one of the more powerful circles as your mind is getting it out of your head and writing it down. Now, we're up to the last part, life at home. So what we're looking for in this category is one that looks at your life outside the office or work. Think about things such as social interactions, adventures, big plans that you may want to do. So things under home, you may write things like be ahead of the to-do list, do projects around the house together, see friends more often, go to concerts, and so on. So take the time, pause the video, and write it out. So now, you have all the different parts filled in as a whole. Whoop, whoop. Good job, good job, good job. So, let's take a look at the big picture. Do a glance. Make sure it truly reflects who you are in your heart. There is no right or wrong answer with how many you should or you should not have. But you should have enough where it doesn't feel overwhelming, and if you have too many, some may be combined usually into a similar theme. And I promise, don't worry, this is not the part where I make you come up with a plan on how you will do all of it. How overwhelming is that? And that's what happens. Sometimes we're like, okay, I gotta get it done. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna do all of it. No, take a deep breath. This is just the part where I say, I want this exercise to serve as a compass for you as you go about your day. A compass as you plan things to do and as you think about decisions. The reason I asked you to make this as a circle is also because I believe for your life to be 100% at home, all the pieces need to be full. So when you only do one part but not the other, things are just automatically off balance. This can serve as a guide for you to ensure your focus is balanced and also remind you to work on other parts. Look, I know I'm guilty of trying to do the work on the family part and not so much in the self category. But after doing this for myself, I look at it and I think about it all the time. I'm able to let go of the guilt that comes with doing something in the self part. Because this should be when you look at, you can just think, oh, I'm just fulfilling the other parts that need to be. And if you have trouble making decisions, should I not do? Then just look at this. Does what you're thinking about fit with the category and meet the criteria you wrote down? When you look at it that way, it's almost as if you're taking yourself out of the equation. The decision is therefore neutral. You don't have to feel guilty because it either does or doesn't fit into your priorities. And look, I know this may seem like a simple exercise, but it can really lead you in the right direction when done completely. It can give you clear values of what matters to you. And if you do share it with your partner or kids or anyone, or you ask them to do this as well, what I will say is that theirs will look different. So if you're going to share it, I just really caution you to remember that. And I also know that we aren't diving into the details here, but that's also the point. We get so caught up in the details, the small decisions, that we start to go off our path when we don't even realize it because we aren't focused on the foundations. So now, let's get back to our story. Now that you have this piece of paper that is actually a compass to guide you as you move forward with time, it gives you the power to set limits, and you become laser focused on what you're actually willing to give your time away to. Everything should reflect back to one of these categories. If it doesn't, then this is not the time for it. Maybe in a few months you do a new list and it looks different. But if it's not on there, you shouldn't be giving your attention to it. So now your story looks different. Your path becomes bumpier as it might get uncomfortable or uneasy when you start to do new things or stop. But now, with a clear understanding, you have a guidebook to get to your goals. And this is really where the coaching work that I do really matters. I hold space for my clients to dive in and, most importantly, to hold them accountable. Have you ever had a conversation with a friend about a pain point and they offer great advice and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I totally should do that, but it never happens? Right? Look, we've all been there. And the difference is by working with me, you end every coaching session not just with, I should do this, but with a clear action plan that works for you. And an accountability partner who checks in on your progress to help adjust things as needed. And to make sure, somebody here to make sure that the change happens and you stick with it, right? How many times have we started and not stuck with something? I see you over there. Therefore, now your path in the story is less bumpy along the way because you have a partner who's holding up a compass for you. And if that resonates with you, then message me for more information on how we can work together. But honestly, more than anything, I hope that you now feel empowered with a guidebook that's simple yet powerful when done correctly. So as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. And until next time, XOXO from Sasha X Home. Bye everybody. Thanks.